My beloved child, tomorrow you will weep if today you turn a deaf ear to these words. This is not a passing thought drifting through your mind, but a great sign I am placing right before your eyes. Like the people of Nineveh long ago, they kept on eating, drinking, laughing, and enjoying themselves until my word rang out through the mouth of Jonah. 40 days more, and Nineveh shall be overthrown. And when they fell on their faces, fasted and wept in mourning, I stayed my hand. Today, in the same way, I speak to you again. Not 40 days, but the day of your last breath is drawing near. Do not lull yourself to sleep in the long dream of this world, for the watch on your wrist cannot measure the moment when I call you home. I do not speak to sow fear, but to wake you from the illusion that you still have many days ahead. Only when you know that your breath can cease at any moment will you learn how to live as though every heartbeat were a miracle. A human life is like a thin mist that rises in the sunlight and then vanishes, yet you live as if you were a sun that never sets. I see you busy chasing small things, building plans and dreams as though they would last forever. But your breath does not belong to you. It is a gift that comes from me alone, and when I call, no one can hold on to it, not even for a second. Many have once been proud of their power, wealth, or fame, but when their breathing grew faint, all of it turned out to be nothing more than dust in the palm of a hand. They looked back on their lives and understood nothing could follow them to the other side except a bare soul standing before me. My child, do not wait until that day to be afraid, for by then tears of regret will never be able to buy back even a single moment of authentic living that has been thrown away. I do not need you to be perfect, but I long for you to pause and look into your own soul. Every breath is a chance for you to love more, forgive more, lay aside a portion of your pride and relearn how to live gently. For the last day is not an ending, but a beginning, the beginning of a true encounter between you and me. And only those who have already been living in readiness, in love, will be able to cross that threshold in peace. Human beings are very skilled at deceiving themselves, living, calculating, competing as if they would never die. But the moment will come when the chest no longer rises and falls, the heart no longer beats, the eyes no longer open. I do not say this to make you tremble, but to awaken you from a long, stupefying sleep. This body is only a temporary house I have loaned you for a brief while, and one day you must give it back. Every heartbeat, every breath is a gift I send. Not a single one is there by itself. And when that breath stops, do not panic, for it is not a plunge into darkness, but a doorway through which your soul steps into true life. I do not see your life merely through a few short decades, but through the soul I have created to live forever. That is why when I say, the day of your last breath is drawing near, it is not a sentence of doom, but an invitation. Prepare yourself to come home. My child, I know you are often afraid when you hear of death. Just the mention of it makes your heart close up, as though someone were trying to snuff out the light in your chest. But I do not speak of death to frighten you. I speak so that you may stop dreaming that you will walk this earth forever. Your breath is not something you own. It is a gift I place in your chest, minute by minute, second by second. Each morning you open your eyes. It is once more I who give you life, that you may have one more chance to repair, to love, and to understand that the most precious things are not what you possess, but how you choose to live within the time that is given. Once, I allowed a mighty king, whom people called Hezekiah, to hear this word: "Set your house in order, for you shall die, you shall not live." He turned his face to the wall, wept bitterly, and pleaded for my mercy, and I granted him 15 more years of life. Do you see? I take no delight in the death of a human being, but I use that limit to teach them to treasure every remaining day. If you truly knew this breath would soon cease, you would stop nursing grudges, Stop complaining. Stop living as if you were the center of the universe. Death, in my eyes, is not a full stop but a comma that opens into a new chapter where the soul is returned to the embrace of the one who formed it. You often ask, why does God let me die? But my child, death is not a punishment, it is a completion. A grain of wheat, unless it falls into the earth and dies, cannot bear fruit. This body is only the husk of the seed. Your soul is the eternal life I have sown within it. When you understand this, death is no longer so frightening. It is only the door that opens so you may go on, so that I may hold you, wipe away your tears and say, you have come home. Therefore, instead of fear, let there be preparation. The wise do not wait until the end of their life to live well. They begin today. Yet I understand. You are being swept along in the whirlpool of the world. You think you still have plenty of time, many plans, many years left to do what is right. You laugh when others speak of death, because to you, it seems far away. You forget that no one has signed a contract to live until tomorrow. Many went to sleep last night and never opened their eyes again. I do not say this to terrify you, but so that you know, do not let your awakening come later than your final heartbeat. For you do not control your breath, and when I take back that gift, everything you have ever accumulated, power, money, memories, will all fall behind, and only your soul will go on, alone. Have you ever noticed that it is precisely the forgetting of your own limits that makes you live like a little god? You believe that with enough effort, you can have everything, that you will live on in what you build. But when I look down, I see, every time you forget death, you lose a part of your humanity. For finiteness itself is a gentle reminder that you need me. If you could live forever on your own, you would never truly need love. You would not pray, would not forgive, would not seek me. And that is the most frightening death of all, to be dead while still breathing. My dear child, I do not want you to live under the shadow of death, but in a deep awareness of life. Every heartbeat is a song, every breath a prayer. If you are grateful for each second you are allowed to live, you will no longer waste time on resentment or envy. You will look at others with the eyes of one who has understood that everyone is fragile, everyone is on their way home. You will learn to cherish the person beside you, for no one knows if tomorrow we will still have the chance to say a kind word. And, in that awareness, you will see that death is no longer an ending, but the beginning of another life, purer, more peaceful, truer than anything you have ever known. I remember a time when a rich young man came to ask me, what must I do to have eternal life? He kept all the commandments and lived an upright life. But when I told him to sell all he had and follow me, he went away sorrowful. His heart was still bound to what is passing. Do you see? It is not wealth itself that keeps you from me, but your attachment to it that makes you forget the one thing necessary, your soul. Death is not what should frighten you. What should frighten you is arriving there empty-handed in your spiritual life. Do not wait until you stand before me to realize that you live too full of everything, yet too empty within. Look back at yourself. How many times have I called and you did not hear? How many opportunities have I set before you that you dismissed as mere coincidence? You have let the world teach you how to live, but you have forgotten to learn how to prepare to die. I do not speak of death as a tragic ending, but as an invitation to return. Live as if you were about to step into the next life, not in panic, not in regret, but in peace and love. For when you live like that, you are truly alive. And when you dare to face your own limits, you will discover a secret. Death is no longer an enemy. It is a messenger carrying your soul to the place where I am waiting. It is a note I send to each person saying, do not stay forever in the dream, for I have prepared another dawn for you. When you understand this, every fear melts away. You will see that death does not come to steal, but to restore, to bring you back to the very place where you belong. I tell you these things not to close the story, but to open the next chapter. For when you grasp the fragility of your breath, you will see more clearly what has been drying up your heart. You're clinging to what must fade. I want you to go further, deeper, not only to recognize that you will die, but also to recognize what you are truly living for. I know there are days when you look around and see everything you have built as so solid. Work, money, house, status, reputation. You believe that if you just try a little harder, everything will be perfect. But you do not see that I am quietly standing beside you, watching you be so busy that you can no longer hear the breathing of your own soul. Your heart has become a spinning wheel, running endlessly after what the world calls success. You think you are living, but in truth, you are only prolonging a form of existence without a soul. And that, my child, is the real tragedy. I see you spending year after year on things that pass away, like someone searching for water in the desert but carrying only sand. You throw yourself into work as if it were a sacred calling, while in reality it is only fear of being left behind. You exhaust yourself chasing after dazzling lights, not knowing they are only the artificial spotlights of a stage called life. You are praised, applauded, lifted up, and yet the more applause you receive, the emptier you feel inside. Your soul, the one part of you I cherish above all, is hungry, thirsty, slowly withering. It does not need more money. It does not need more fame. It needs a drop of living water. It needs to hear my voice. Long ago, there was a rich man whose fields yielded a plentiful harvest. His barns were overflowing, and he said to himself, "My soul, you have plenty of good things laid up for many years. Rest now, eat, drink, and be merry." But that very night I came and said, "You fool, this very night your soul will be demanded of you. Then who will own what you have stored up?" That story has never grown old, my child. It is repeated every day in those who think they are living, yet are merely decorating a soul that is rotting within. I do not blame you for wanting to be better, because to dream is not wrong. But my heart aches because you have traded what is eternal for what is doomed to fade. You strain yourself to hold on to the outer shell and forget that the core within is decaying in silence. Have you ever asked yourself why you are always so tired, even after achieving everything you once desired? It is because no one can be satisfied feeding on emptiness. The soul is not nourished by money, by status, by praise. It can only live on love and truth. The more you cling to what is passing, the more afraid you are of losing it, and that fear will slowly strangle you. The world teaches you that to have is to live, but I teach you that to give is to live. Only when you learn to let go will you truly be free. A hand that grips everything too tightly cannot receive anything new, not even grace. I love you, because I know you never meant to lose your way. The world has misled you. It has turned true values into something secondary and made illusions look like treasures. You think you must prove your worth, that you must succeed to be recognized by others. But my child, you were acknowledged long before you were born. I have inscribed your name on the palm of my hand. No success can add to that worth, and no failure can take it away. Yet if you keep letting your soul go hungry, it will dry up, and when I call you, it will no longer have the strength to rise and come home. I have seen so many souls become like deserts because they forgot the true spring of water. They built mansions on sand, then were shocked when the storm swept everything away. You are doing the same, trying to build yourself a shelter out of things that do not last, not knowing that only I am your true refuge. The hunger of the soul is not just a fleeting emptiness. It is the sign that you are drifting away from the source of life. Every time you chase what cannot endure, you are stripping your own soul of its strength. You think you are moving forward, but in reality you are drifting farther from the shore. I do not want you to live in fear. I want you to return. Let me teach you again how to live slowly, how to breathe, how to listen to your own heart. Do not be afraid to turn back. No road is ever so long that you cannot come home. You need only stop and say, "Father, I am tired." In that moment I will not ask you how much you have lost. I will only ask, "Are you willing to let me hold you?" For what I long for is not your possessions, but your heart, the heart that was once soft, once knew how to love, but is now coated with the dust of fear and pride. There are moments when I allow you to lose certain things, not to punish you, but to teach you how to receive again. When you lose your job, lose someone you love, lose your peace, it is not that I have withdrawn my blessing, but that I am removing the veils so you can see how starved your soul has become. It is precisely in that emptiness that you begin to hear my voice, like a child who suddenly recognizes its mother's voice in the crowd. And when you come back, you will be surprised to find that I am still standing in the very place where you left me, waiting, not accusing, not angry, only full of compassion. Learn to ask yourself again, what do I live for, instead of, how long can I live? For this life is not measured in years, but in the direction of your soul. Every small choice, to love or to hate, to give or to grasp, to trust or to doubt, is a seed sown for eternity. Do not sow stones and gravel into the garden of your heart and then expect green trees to grow. This life is short, yet long enough for you to change. And if today you are able to hear my words, that is not by chance. It is the moment I have chosen for your soul to begin to come alive again. My child, do not be afraid of losing. To lose in order to gain, that is the law of the kingdom of heaven. When you loosen your grip on what is temporary, you can finally touch what is true. When you stop building sandcastles, I will teach you how to build your house upon the rock. The world teaches you to fear emptiness, but I teach you to see that in that very emptiness there is room for me to dwell. A soul can never be satisfied when it locks itself inside a shell of material things. Let me break that shell, even if it hurts, so that what is inside can finally breathe. Only then will you realize you were once dead even while you were alive, and now you have been brought back to life. And my child, when you learn this lesson, that wealth, fame, and earthly pleasures cannot save your soul, you will feel your heart grow gentle. Fear will fade, striving and rivalry will cease, and true peace will remain. Then you will look at others through the eyes of one who has been forgiven. You will stop running, stop searching, stop clinging, because you have already found what you sought, and in that, the very moment you will understand what the whole world has forgotten, that the greatest loneliness is not lacking people by your side, but being far from the God who stands right next to you. You often look around and feel that you are all alone. In the deep of night, when every noise has quieted, your heart becomes an empty space, echoing with sighs. You think that I am silent, that I have left you alone in this world, that I have withdrawn my hand. But my child, I have never stepped away from you, not even half a step. Precisely when you feel nothing, that is when I am closest, because I know that in loneliness you begin to listen. When the noise of the world finally recedes, your soul becomes still enough to recognize that my voice has always been gently calling, not from somewhere out there, but from within your very own heart. There are souls that pass through dark valleys, thinking they are being punished, when in fact they are being held close. I do not always speak, because my words could sometimes make you dependent. I want you to learn how to trust when you cannot see, to remain faithful when there are no signs at all. Do you remember the story of Elijah? When he hid in the cave, afraid and exhausted, thinking I had abandoned him, then there was a great wind, an earthquake, and a fire, but I was not in any of those loud, dramatic things. At last there came a gentle whisper, and Elijah knew it was me. Do you see? I do not always appear in thunder or miracles, but in the soft breath on your cheek, in the tear I kiss as it falls, though you do not know it. I know there have been nights when you have cried. There have been mornings when you woke with a heart heavy as stone, not wanting to live one more day. You have thought, if God is real, why is he silent? But my child, when you weep, I weep with you. When you collapse, I am the one kneeling beside you. Every tear you shed I keep, not a single one is wasted. You think you are lost, but in truth, you are being led through the darkness, so that you may learn that light is not always blinding. Sometimes it rests quietly in the palm of my hand, just bright enough to show you one more step. Yet that one step is the most important of all. Loneliness, for many, is a sentence. But for me, it is the doorway that opens to a true conversation between father and child. When you have no one left to lean on, that is when you finally turn back and lean on me. When you have nothing left to boast of, that is when you are bare enough for me to hold you. The world makes you believe that silence means absence, but I tell you, it is precisely in that silence that love becomes deepest. I do not need you to understand everything. I only need you not to let go. For in the darkest days, faith is not a feeling, but a choice. Even when I cannot see, I still believe you are here. And when you say those words, all of heaven rejoices, because you have overcome the very thing the evil one fears most, faith that clings on in the midst of darkness. Do you know why I allow loneliness to touch you? Because without it, you would never truly find yourself again. Loneliness is not an enemy, it is a mirror of the soul. When you face it, you see clearly the wounds you once hid, the fears you covered over with laughter. I leave you empty so that you may learn to thirst. I allow you to be weak so that you may learn to lean. For only when you recognize your own limits will you open your heart to welcome me, the one who never grows weary of loving you. I see you living in a crowded world, yet lonelier than ever. People talk a lot, but few truly listen. They have hundreds of friends, yet no one really knows the pain that lives in their hearts. You are the same. You smile, you act strong, but inside you are just a child needing to be held. And I am there, right in those moments when you think there is no one left. No rituals are needed, no perfect words, only this, that you lift your eyes and whisper, Father, I am so tired. I will not ask you, why are you weak? I will only say, I know, and I am here. Once, I walked upon the sea in the middle of the night. The waves rose high, the wind was fierce, and the disciples trembled, thinking they were about to die. They cried out, believing I was a ghost. But I said, Do not be afraid, it is I. When I stepped into the boat, the wind grew still. Do you see? Fear and loneliness only melt away when I step in, but you must open the door. That door is not outside of you. It is within your own heart. Loneliness does not disappear because you add more people around you, but because you allow me to enter. And when I dwell in you, every noise turns to peace, and every storm bows low. My child, I know there are pains no one else can understand, questions no one else can answer. But do not confuse feelings with truth. You may feel that I am far away, but the truth is that I am holding you. You may think you have been abandoned, but the truth is that I have never taken my eyes off you, not even for a second. True love is not always something you can feel, it is something you trust. And when you trust, it becomes more real than anything you see. Do not fear the dark, for even there, my light still breaks through. Beloved child, if today you are lonely, know that right in that loneliness, I am speaking. Do not try to run away from the emptiness. Sit down with it, because I am sitting right across from you in that silence. Let your tears fall, for tears are the language of the soul. When you weep, I hear you more clearly than any spoken prayer. And in the moment you lift your eyes in the middle of the night, you will see, I am still there, patient and gentle, not accusing, not leaving, only waiting for you to stop turning away. And then you will realize, loneliness is not a sign that I am far away, but the way I draw you closer. Like a father standing at a distance, arms outstretched, waiting for his prodigal child to return. When your feet are sore and your body bruised, I will run to embrace you. You do not need to explain yourself. You do not need to pretend to be strong. You only need to say, I want to come home. And all the angels will shout for joy, because a soul has found its way back to the Father's house. And when you have learned that loneliness is no longer frightening because I am there, you will begin to see the world differently. You will hear my quiet call everywhere, in your own breath, in the passerby, in this fleeting life itself. You will come to know that there is not a single moment on this earth when you are truly alone. For I am not somewhere far away. I am present in every beat of your heart. My child, when your heart begins to fear loneliness less, when you realize that I am still near, that is also when you start to see more clearly how the world has taught you wrongly. It whispers in your ear, do not speak of death. It is bad luck. Do not be weak. Do not cry. Prove that you are strong. Stand above others. That is how you win respect. And little by little, you learn to hide the truth, to wear masks, to fear the very limits I gave you so that you would be humble. You forget that there is nothing to fear in death itself, only the emptiness of a life that never knew why it was lived. I see this world in which you walk as a glittering yet exhausted stage. People press forward just to be seen, to be heard, to be recognized, as if they would vanish if no one spoke their name. They chase after the shimmering mirage of success, not realizing that the light they see is fed by a fire that is burning up their very souls. I do not blame them, nor do I blame you, for this world is more cunning than you think. It uses the language of freedom to bind, and the promise of forever to steal souls. It teaches you to fear death, because if you fear death, you will cling to it and forget me, the one who is true life. My child, death is not a failure. Death is the proof that you belong to something beyond this world. I allow you to have limits so that you may yearn for the infinite. Death is an open door, not a bottomless pit, but the world has painted it in black, making you tremble like someone condemned. It does not tell you that beyond death are the Father's arms, the homeland your soul has longed for since it was first created. It shows you the grave, but hides the sky. So you hurry through life, afraid, trying to prove your worth with things that will never pass through that door. Do you remember, long ago I told my disciples, whoever wants to save his life will lose it, but whoever loses his life for my sake will find it. These are not the words of a harsh God, but the voice of truth. For when you cling to your life, you lose it, but when you dare to entrust it to love, you receive yourself back. The world does not understand this, so it teaches you to be strong, to win, to be above, to live long. But my child, the bigger the ego, the smaller the soul. Death does not kill you. Pride kills you, little by little, every day. I have seen you grow weary so many times of having to be someone. You strain yourself so you will not be lost in the crowd, so you will not be looked down on, so you can keep your reputation, your position, the gaze of others. Yet you do not realize that the more you do this, the further you step away from your true self. For you were not born to be worshipped, but to worship. Not so that others would bow to you, but so that you would bow before love. The ego the world commands you to feed is, in truth, a monster that slowly devours your soul. It tells you, you do not need God, but when suffering comes, it is the first to flee, leaving you alone with the terror of facing yourself. Look again at this world. It praises the successful, yet forgets how many of them die in loneliness. It urges you to live for yourself, yet the more you live for yourself, the more hollow you feel. For the ego is never satisfied. It is a bottomless pit that swallows every ray of light without ever saying enough. But I teach you the opposite. Live for others, and you will find yourself filled. Forget yourself, and you will find peace. Accept death, and you will discover life. This is not a paradox, but the secret of the kingdom, a secret the world will never grasp, for it believes only in what can be counted, measured, and stored away. Have you ever wondered why so many people, the more they possess, the more anxious they become? It is because their souls know very well that they are clinging to what they cannot carry with them. The world says, accumulate, assert yourself, leave your name behind. But I say, let go, trust, leave love behind. Your name may be forgotten, but the love you sow will keep blossoming. The hands you have held, the wounds you have soothed, the times you have forgiven, these are your true treasures. For when everything passes away, only love remains. And true love is not afraid of death, because it comes from me, the one who never dies. My child, your ego fears death because it knows it has no life beyond this one. It lives on comparison, on winning and losing, on the gaze of others, but your soul is different. It does not need praise. It needs to be loved. It does not need to stand out. It needs to be real. That is why I call you, let the ego die, that your soul may live. Every time you forgive, the ego dies a little. Every time you bow your head, the ego gives way to grace. Every time you choose love instead of victory, you draw closer to me. And when you have allowed me to live within you, death will no longer be something to fear. It will simply be the moment you finally see clearly the one you believed in while it was still dark. The world tells you that death is the end, but I tell you, death is the beginning. It tells you to struggle and compete so that you will be remembered, but I say, you are only truly remembered when you know how to love. It tells you to be afraid, to be on guard, to cling to yourself, but I say, lose yourself so that I may find you again. The death you fear is precisely the door I open for you to come home. And if you live each day as though you were preparing to meet the Father, you will never die in panic. You will simply change places, moving from what is temporary into what is true. And then, when you look at the world with new eyes, you will see that everything it worships, money, beauty, power, fame, is nothing but dust and ashes. You will feel your heart grow light, no longer afraid, because you have found your true place, not on some lofty platform, but in my heart. When you no longer have to defend your ego, you will discover a freedom you have never known. For whoever has placed their life in the hands of God has nothing left that can be stolen. You are no longer afraid of dying, because you have learned how to live in truth, and only then will you understand, death is not the enemy, the ego is. My beloved child, you have passed through so many nights of fear, so many seasons of loneliness, so many times when you reach the edge of your limits. You have learned that death is not the end, and that your ego is not the center of the universe. Now I want you to understand something deeper. This life is only a small classroom in the school of eternity. Every joy and every sorrow, every success and every failure, all of it is a lesson I have prepared for your soul. There is no day that is random. There is no tear that is meaningless. Every event, every person you meet, every turn that seemed like a wrong path, all of it is part of a great curriculum that only I can fully read. The world calls this life a stage. It teaches you to act well, to impress, to make people remember your name. But I tell you, this is not a stage. It is the classroom of the soul. I do not care what role you play. I look only at what you have learned. A small role, if you live it with love, is more precious than the most spectacular performance in which your soul is absent. You came into this world not to win applause, but to learn how to love, how to forgive, how to live in humility and gratitude, for only these lessons will cross with you over the boundary of death. Do you remember when my disciples argued over who was the greatest in the kingdom of heaven? I called a little child, placed the child in their midst, and said, "Whoever humbles himself like this little one is the greatest in the kingdom of heaven." Do you understand? In this temporary school of life, the marks are given for humility, not for power, for mercy, not for achievement. Every time you choose love instead of hatred, you are promoted. Every time you silently endure for the sake of what is right, your name is written down, and when you fall, yet still rise to keep walking, I call that an examination passed. I know there are lessons that make you ache. There are seasons when you do not understand why I allow loss, hardship, or loneliness. But, my child, a student cannot grow if they only study easy lessons. The soul matures only through trial. Just as iron becomes steel only by passing through fire, so your love must also be tempered to become transparent and pure. I do not send suffering to wound you, but to teach you endurance and trust. For in this life, what I desire most is not your brief happiness, but your steadfastness in eternal life. Look back, and you will see, those who hurt you were the ones who taught you forgiveness. The losses that brought you to your knees became the very places where I planted seeds of resilience. The times you were left behind were when you learned how to walk with me. No day has been wasted. Even your times of going astray are included in my plan. For in this school, there are no students who are expelled, only children who need more time. And I, your teacher, have never stopped believing in my pupil. You ask, when will I be allowed to leave this class? I smile. When you have learned to love so deeply that you no longer fear losing. When you can see me in all things. When you can offer both your joys and your tears and still say, "Thank you, Father." That is when your soul has graduated. And the day you breathe your last will not be an ending, but an eternal graduation ceremony. The door will open, and I will be standing at the threshold with a gentleness in my smile that you have never seen. You have finished your lessons. Come home. My child, this world is not your home. It is only a temporary dormitory where the soul is trained for its true homeland. Do not be afraid if people do not understand you, for they too are studying their own lessons. Do not compare, do not rush, do not envy. Every class has its own pace. Live with gratitude. For every day you can still breathe is one more lesson I have given you. When you wake up, that is the bell calling you to class. When you face suffering, that is your test. When you forgive, that is the moment you advance to a higher level. And when you love with all your heart, that is when you touch my very essence. I want you to grasp this, my child. Eternal life does not begin after you die. It begins today, in every choice, every word, every heartbeat. When you love, you are already living the life of heaven in the midst of the world. When you forgive, you carry the fragrance of the kingdom. When you bow low, you are stepping into eternity. And so, when your final breath comes, you will not be afraid, for you have already been living it each day without realizing it. I have seen your suffering. I have heard your prayers. I have counted every tear you have shed. But above all, I have seen your soul growing, not in fame, but in love. And that is why I let you remain here a little longer, because your schooling is not yet complete. Do not long to leave early. Long instead to learn deeply. For this life will not last forever, but eternity will never end. The day will come when you awake in a place where there is no more darkness, no more tears. You will look around and see me, see the ones you love, see a light that never goes out. You will understand why I let you pass through so much suffering, and you will say, "Father, now I understand." I will smile, place my hand upon your head and say, "Now you know, Everything on earth was only a lesson to lead you back to me. Let go of everything that has ever weighed you down, the fears, the regrets, the moments you look back on with a heart full of pain. They no longer belong to you. They are only wisps of smoke dissolving into the invisible wind of time. You do not need to fight your past, nor imprison yourself in the darkness of guilt. Everything you have ever done, whether in error or in light, is known to me and received in a love that does not condemn. Come close to me. Do not tremble. Do not be afraid, for I am not far away. I am in every breath you take, in every faint beat of your heart. When you think you are plunging into the abyss of despair, in truth you are being held in my arms, gentle and boundless, like the night sea cradling the moon. When you think life is slipping away, that is only the moment your soul is coming home, returning to the primal warmth I prepared for you from the dawn of creation. There is no pain and no fear, only a peace that stretches out like a field of light. I have seen every wound within you, the cracks you hide behind your smile, the things you have never spoken to anyone. I know every small joy you once cherished, and every time you sat alone in the night with tears falling soundlessly. I have never turned my face away from you. To me, nothing in you is so ruined that it cannot be redeemed. No soul is ever too late to be loved, for my love does not count you by your mistakes, nor measure you by the standards of the world. That love calls you by the true name of your soul, the name I engraved in light when you were created, a name that still resounds through the void like an eternal song. You are mine, beloved, awaited, sheltered. No darkness can erase this. The world has taught you to fear death, to cling to what is fading, to believe that loneliness is inevitable. But these are only veils of mist hiding the truth. Death is not the end, but a homecoming. It is like the moment a child leaves its mother's womb, a place that seemed to be everything, the only world, and bursts into tears at the sight of the first light. You are the same. You think this world is the whole of reality, but only when you open your eyes in my light will you see that earthly life was merely a doorway into an infinite realm of radiance. Death is not a full stop, but the prelude to a new song, where the soul is reborn in the dawn of love. Your body will one day dissolve like ashes, but your soul, my true breath within you, will awaken. It will sing with the sound of freedom, soar upon the wind, dissolve into the light. Listen to me, my beloved. The moment you stop breathing in this world is the moment you breathe with me in another. The moment your eyes close to earthly shadows is the moment they open to behold the face of boundless love. When your heart ceases to beat here, it does not die. It simply merges into the beating of my own heart, and together they resound as a symphony of eternal life. You will not be lost in the vast expanse. You will not be empty, not alone, not abandoned. For in the moment your soul is set free, you will realize that every fear that oppressed you was only an illusion, and every pain that tore you apart was only a shower washing away the dust of the earth. You will be filled with a joy beyond all comparison, a joy no longer dependent on matter or form. It is a light that pours forth like an endless river, a peace no human word can reach. You will be held completely within a love so pure that no wound can break it, no dark memory can dim it. Therefore, my child, let your fear cease. Let go, trust. Do not cling to what has already dissolved. Do not resent what has not yet come. Life on earth is only a short chapter in the everlasting book of the soul. Death is not a period, but a comma between two stories, one ending and another beginning in the light. I have never been far from you. It is only that you have forgotten how to listen. Let your heart grow still, for only in that stillness will you hear my voice calling you. My voice does not come from outside, but from within you, from that place where you and I have never been apart. The world has taught you to believe that you are nothing more than a tiny speck of dust, that you must prove your worth through success, through fame, through things that quickly fade away. But to me, you were already whole from the moment you were born. You do not need to do anything more to be loved, nor can you do anything that would make me stop loving you. For the love I have for you does not come from what you do, but from your very being, the soul that was formed in the light. And that light has never gone out, no matter how many times you lose your way, no matter how deep into the night you seem to fall. You once thought you were broken beyond repair, but to me nothing is ever truly shattered. Every crack is an opening for the light to enter. Every wound is a doorway leading you toward awakening. It is precisely in the moments that seem like loss that you draw closer to me, for only when you have nothing left to cling to do you take my hand with the naked honesty of your soul. Believe that no pain is meaningless, no tear is wasted. They are the raindrops that cleanse you, the stream that carries you back to the source of peace. And then one day, when you look back, you will understand that everything that once terrified you was only a trial meant to teach you how to trust in unconditional love. The death you used to dread will reveal itself as the doorway leading you into the most radiant light. The losses over which you once cried out will reveal themselves as gifts that taught you to cherish what can never be taken away. Every farewell is only the prelude to a reunion. You will see that I have never left you. I have only been waiting for you to recognize me everywhere. In the light of each new dawn, in the gentle breeze that brushes your cheek, in every beat of your heart, in every breath you draw. Therefore, do not be afraid anymore. When night falls and darkness seems to flood everything, remember that the light has not disappeared. It is only waiting for you to open your eyes and see. When you feel weak and empty, remember that I am there, in every space between your breaths. When you think you have lost everything, remember that in my love nothing is ever truly lost. Everything only changes form, only transforms so that you may grow and return closer to me. Let your heart rest in my hands. Let your fears dissolve like morning mist in the sun. Trust that I am always the place you can return to, no matter how far you wander, no matter how many times you stumble. I am still waiting. For to me, you are not your mistakes. You are not your failures. You are a fragment of the light, a small yet radiant ray born from the very breath of eternal love. When you learn to let go, you will feel as light as the wind, as free as the clouds. You will realize that there is nothing you need to cling to, nothing you truly need to fear. Every departure is a return in disguise. Every ending is a beginning. And in that moment, when you open your heart, you will feel my hand warm and gentle holding yours. You will know that you have never been lost, never abandoned, never truly deprived of anything. You have only been on the journey home, back to me, back to the original love that has been waiting for you since the very beginning. My child, when you look back at the fractures along your path, do not let them become chains that bind your soul. The mistakes you have made are not full stops, but merely commas in the long song of your life. Every stumble, every tear, every sleepless night you have spent in loneliness has been seen by me, and in each of those moments I have loved you with a love that has never faded. Do not be afraid of your own weakness, for it is precisely in that weakness that my power is revealed. You think you are lost, but in truth you are simply walking along the road toward the light that I have already prepared for you. When you sigh in disappointment, I quietly lay my hand upon your shoulder to remind you that you have never been alone. When you think the world has turned its back on you, it is I who bend down to lift you up, to wipe away your tears, and to whisper, "Keep going, for I am still here." There are days when your heart feels shattered, and you blame yourself for not being strong enough, not good enough to deserve the love I give. But my child, my love is not measured by achievements or perfection. It is a stream that never runs dry, a flame the wind cannot extinguish. You may lose many things in this life, but never lose the faith that you are loved unconditionally. Do not look at the scars on your soul and imagine that I am repulsed by you, for it is precisely those wounds that have become the place where I plant the seeds of healing. I do not see only your faults. I see the hidden light within you, the light that even you sometimes forget. I know every breath you take, every beat of your heart, every silence you cannot put into words. I know when you force a smile through your pain, when you struggle to stand, though your legs are trembling. Each time you choose to take another step, heaven rejoices, because I know you are learning to trust in the property. Dark, let the past lie quietly. Do not clutch it to your chest like a burden. Release everything that has weighed you down, for only when your hands are empty can you take hold of me. I do not need you to be perfect. I only long for you to come to me with a sincere heart. When you bow your head in silence, I hear your hidden sobs. When you feel you have no worth, I look at you and see a treasure the world has never recognized. You were not born to live in fear, but to walk in the light of love. You are not the sum of your mistakes. You are the masterpiece of grace, the living witness of boundless mercy. Imagine, on the day you are freed from the bonds of the body, you will see me more clearly than ever before. That light will not blind you. It will surround you with infinite gentleness. You will hear songs that no human words can describe, sounds that only a purified soul can perceive. Every tear you have ever shed will become a jewel in the crown of glory. Every pain you have endured will be transformed into the triumphant anthem of new life. You will see that no loneliness has ever truly existed, for even in the densest darkness, I have been there as warmth in the cold, as a lamp in the storm, as open arms in the midst of fear. My beloved, I know there are moments when you doubt, moments when you ask, are you really there? But, my child, every time the wind brushes softly against your cheek, it is I touching you. Every time the dawn breaks, it is I greeting you with a morning blessing. Every time you feel an unexplainable peace in the midst of the storm, it is I whispering, you are still safe in my hands. This life is only a small bridge stretched across eternity, and I am at the other end, waiting to welcome you with a gentle smile. Do not be afraid when you feel yourself changing, for that is the sign that I am renewing you from within. Do not be confused when something is taken from you, for I am only making room for something better to come. Remember, I never take away without giving back something greater. When you are in pain, look to me, for in my gaze you will see the true image of yourself, a precious soul created to love and to be loved. You are not a lost child wandering in the world. You are the one I have chosen, called by name, and kept within my heart. Trust that everything you are going through has meaning, even if you cannot yet understand it. Every step, every moment, is part of the journey home. The more you are refined, the more you shine like gold in the fire. Do not fear suffering, for it is the fertile soil where the seeds of faith sprout. Do not fear loss, for only when you are empty can I fill you with my very self. My child, I am not as distant as you imagine. I am not in some unreachable height beyond your grasp. I am in every heartbeat, in every kind glance, in every small act of love. I am there when you share your bread with the hungry, when you wipe another's tears away, when you forgive, even while you are still hurting. Every act of love you offer is my echo in the world. Every time you open your heart, I come alive within you. Believe that when you love, that is when you are closest to me. When you cross the threshold between life and death, you will not fall into an abyss. You will be upheld by my arms. You will not be lost in emptiness. You will find yourself held in pure light. There will be no more fear, no more separation, only unending joy. You will understand why I allowed you to pass through nights of darkness, for it was there that you learned to trust without seeing. You will understand why I was silent when you cried out, for sometimes silence is the language of preparation. You will understand that every road, no matter how winding or rough, leads to one single destination, my heart. And now, while you are still living in this finite world, do not forget that I have placed within you a spark of eternity. Every breath you take is a reminder that you were created by love, and that only love can truly satisfy you. Live each day as if it were a gift, because in truth it is. Do not waste your time in resentment or regret, for every passing second is an opportunity for you to come closer to me. Let your heart become my dwelling place, where the light never goes out, where peace flows like a river. When you live in gratitude, you are swinging wide the door for me to enter. My beloved, I know this journey is not easy, but I also know that deep within your soul there is a flame that cannot be extinguished, a flame lit by my own hand. No matter how fiercely the wind blows, no matter how dense the night becomes, that light remains. You only need to keep faith, for a single small ray is enough to scatter an entire sky of darkness. I am waiting for you, not with a verdict, but with an embrace, not with reproach, but with a smile, not with questions about your faults, but with one simple answer. You are mine, and I am yours. Come home, my child. You do not need to prepare anything. You do not need to prove anything. Come back like a child running into a father's arms after the rain. I will wrap you in a new garment. I will give you a new name, and I will place upon your lips a new song, the song of life, of love, of unfading hope. For you were not born to live in fear, but to be loved. You were not born to wander in darkness, but to shine. You were not born to carry guilt forever, but to be set free. Believe this, for it is an eternal truth. And when you believe, when you surrender yourself into my arms, you will experience what words can never express, a deep, abiding peace, the feeling of coming home after countless storms, the joy of a soul that has found where it truly belongs. You will know that everything that once caused you pain is now only a witness to a love that cannot be destroyed. You will no longer ask, why? Because you will understand what for. All that has been, is now, and will ever be, is woven by my loving hands. And you will smile, not because you understand everything, but because you know this one thing, that I am here, always. My beloved child, when your heart begins to feel that gentle warmth spreading through your chest, it is not just a passing sensation, but a sign that the sacred presence is drawing near. I am not far away. I am in every breath you take, in the soft wind brushing past the window, in the gentle beating of your heart. That warmth is I, myself, touching your soul, calling you home, rocking you in the invisible yet mighty embrace of infinite love. The whisper you hear in the depths of your being is not the echo of your mind, but the sound of eternal life, my invitation that is tender yet powerful. Let your heart open, let that stream of light soak into every vein, let the peace I send you spread through your whole being like a soft lullaby in the long night. You do not need to struggle to become someone else, nor force yourself to fight against your own weakness. I do not seek perfection in you. I only long for your honesty, for you to allow yourself to be just as you are in this very moment, whole, fragile, yet radiant. Trust in me as a child trusts in its mother's arms. Let each of your breaths become a prayer, a bridge between the earthly realm and the realm of light. When you breathe in, you are receiving new life. When you breathe out, you are surrendering, laying down every fear, every burden, everything that no longer belongs to you. Sometimes, before the light appears, darkness will wrap itself around you. But darkness is not your enemy. It is only a thin veil, hiding the dawn that is coming. When your body trembles from weakness or fear, that is also the moment your soul is being purified. After the trembling comes stillness, after the tears comes a deep smile, and in the end, when the breath ceases, true life will begin. Remember that this is not an ending, but a birth into newness. It is not punishment, but a doorway into freedom. Not a loss, but a return to your sacred origin. Everything you have ever gone through, love and suffering, joy and confusion, tears and laughter, are steps along the path I have walked with you. Nothing in your life is meaningless, for everything is a fragment I have used to draw you closer to myself. When you fell, I was there, lifting you up. When you wept, I heard you. When you called my name in despair, I was right beside you, quietly placing my unseen hand upon your shoulder. And now, as you stand upon the fragile boundary between two worlds, I tell you this: nothing can separate you from my love. Death is not the end, but the door that opens into another kind of life, a life in which you are no longer confined by the body, no longer bound by time. You will step into the light, where I have waited for you since the first dawn of the universe. When you lay aside this earthly garment, you do not disappear, you become more complete, more free, more radiant than ever. You will see the world with new eyes, the eyes of a soul that has been washed clean. You will hear my voice no longer as a whisper, but as a river of light flowing through every cell, every heartbeat of the universe. You will feel my embrace no longer as something distant, but as a total enfolding, like fire that warms, like water that refreshes, like light that disperses every shadow. You will melt into a joy without limit, into perfect harmony with all that is. Remember that this world will go on, time will continue to flow, and those who remain will remember you. But do not be afraid, for the love you have given will not be lost. It will become a seed planted in their hearts, sprouting into new life, into hope, into continuing light. You will not be forgotten, because true love never dies. It only changes form, living on in a glance, a smile, in the memories you leave behind. It will travel on through the lives of those you love, and through them, you will live on. When you have crossed to the other side, you will see that everything which once frightened or wounded you has become small, like ripples on the surface of an immense ocean. You will smile, because you will understand that nothing was ever truly lost. There was only transformation. What you once believed to be the end was in truth only the beginning of a new chapter, where love is no longer divided by any boundary, where the soul is free to sing in the music of eternity. You will meet me again in every ray of light, in every blooming flower, in every song of the wind, for I have never been far from you. From the first moment of life, I have been there, and when the universe dissolves, I will still be there with you. I am the life breathing within you, the light shining in you, the peace dwelling in your heart. Let your heart be still. Do not be afraid. Lay down every burden, for there is nothing left you must cling to. Believe that in the very moment you feel most lost, that is when I am closest to you. I am holding your hand, gently leading you through the darkness, through the mist, to the place where the light never fades. In that place, there are no tears and no fear, only a deep stillness and a joy that flows like the light of dawn. You will be gathered into the fullness of my love, into a life that has no beginning and no end. And then you will understand that I was never absent, and you were never truly deprived of anything, that all of this has only been a coming home, a reunion, after a long journey through the dust of the earth. I love you, and I will love you forever, not because you are worthy or unworthy, but because you are a part of me, because I am in you and you are in me, and that is what is eternal. My beloved child, now listen deeply, as though in a noisy room, every sound suddenly fades away, and only my voice remains, whispering in your heart. What I say is not to weigh you down, but to loosen the invisible cords that bind you to what is destined to pass away. You are living in a world that seems so solid, where everything appears so clearly present that you believe if you lost it, you could not go on. The walls of your house, the roads you walk, the buildings lit at night, the numbers in your account, the mirror that reflects your face each morning, the powerful handshakes, the praises that make you feel important. All of this wraps around you, making you think, this is my life, this is everything I have. But my child, everything you can see and hold in your hands is only like a play still mid-performance. When the curtain falls, the stage will be empty, and what will remain is the question. When the acting is over, where will you go? Where do you truly belong? You feel that everything now is so real, so intense, able to make you rejoice or crush you with pain, and yet you do not realize that it is all flowing past like water, only a short stretch in the endless journey of your soul. What you call having today may vanish tomorrow. What you cling to as your treasure now will one day be something you must let go, unable to carry even the smallest part of it with you. I do not say this to throw you into confusion, but to awaken you, so that you no longer treat what is temporary as though it were eternal, and so that you begin to honor what is invisible yet never lost, that is your soul, the love I have placed within you, the everlasting life for which I created you. My dear child, your body is a gift I have given you so that you may walk upon this earth, so that you can touch the world, so that you can laugh and weep and hold close those whom you love. But this body is only a temporary garment, a tent pitched in the desert along the way home, not the eternal house where you will dwell forever. One day, this garment will fray, and the tent will be taken down. You will feel clearly that everything you once thought was me, appearance, strength, youth, form, cannot be held on to forever. The breath in your chest, each rising and falling, is not your possession. It is a gift I am giving you, moment by moment, so that you may have time to choose, to grow, to learn to love, to take your first steps toward eternity. Time is not an enemy sent to steal your youth. Time is the river I send to carry you closer and closer to the undying light. With each day that passes, you draw one step nearer to me, whether you are aware of it or not. Do not be afraid when you see the days slip by, for the purpose of time is not to wear you down, but to give you the chance to become what you were created to be. You are not only the successes or failures that others stick onto you, nor are you the mistakes that make you so ashamed you want to run away from yourself. You are greater than every wound you carry inside, greater than all criticism, greater even than those wrong choices you once believed had ruined everything. All these are only this chapter or that page in the story of your life, but you are not a stray chapter. You are the whole book I am writing, and that book does not end with death. It opens into a new chapter that will never close. You are a soul, and that soul bears my imprint, created not to fade away with the passing years, but to live in a reality that no darkness can ever overshadow. You were not born only to one day return to a handful of cold earth, to be forgotten among countless names and dates carved in stone. You were made for another homeland, where every tear is wiped away, where even the smallest of your efforts to love is remembered, where there is no more separation, no envy, no injustice, where you may be your truest self, no longer distorted by fear or selfishness. You were not created to chase glittering illusions that flare and then burn out, but to step into a light that does not fade, where I await you with open arms. Deep in your heart, you have felt this, even if you have never known how to name it. Every time you obtained something you thought would satisfy you, a new possession, a word of recognition, a higher position, a night of excitement, and then suddenly felt empty and adrift. That was your soul whispering, I do not belong to these things. I thirst for something else, deeper, more real. That very thirst is the sign that you were not born for a few short decades like a wisp of smoke, but for a life that cannot be measured by calendars or clocks. I have placed within you a longing for meaning, for truth, for a love that never changes. Such desires can never be filled by material things, fame, or pleasure, because they were made to reach toward me, the source of everything you seek without realizing it. When you forget this, you are easily swept into the whirlpool of the world. You begin to measure your worth by things that can be lost. You anxiously cling to what you cannot carry with you across the boundary of death. You tremble at every sign of loss because you imagine that if those things disappear, then you too will have nothing left. I want to loosen that fear in you by reminding you that everything you consider to be everything in this life is, in the end, only a temporary means to help you learn to love, to give yourself, to trust, to let go, to live as one who belongs to the light. The house you live in is the place where you learn to receive and to give tenderness, not a fortress where you build walls to shut yourself off from others. The money you have is an instrument for you to manage with wisdom and generosity, not chains that bind your mind to anxiety. Your body is a temple where I have placed your soul, so that you may feel, may walk, may care for it as a gift, not an idol for you to worship. The praise and criticism you hear each day are only like passing winds. They can help you see where you are and what needs to change, but they do not decide who you are in my eyes. My dear child, amid all that is changing, only one thing never changes. You belong to me, and I created you for heaven, not as some vague, distant place, but as the state of being in me, of being filled with the love you have longed for all your life, often without even realizing it. Heaven is not only a reward at the end of the road, it is the destination toward which the deepest movements of your soul are already reaching. Every time you choose forgiveness instead of nursing resentment, you take a small step toward it. Every time you accept to sacrifice a little of your own comfort to help someone else, you open the door for that light to pour in. Every time you dare to stand on the side of truth, even at the cost of some advantage, you allow your soul to be drawn out of the shadows. Each choice you make in this brief span of time is quietly shaping your eternal self, as every small brushstroke on a painting will one day reveal an image you will carry forever. I want you to understand this, not to weigh you down, but so that you may see that not a single moment of your life is meaningless. Even on the days when you feel you have fallen to the very bottom, submerged in faults, suffering, and despair, it is precisely then that, if you lift your eyes to me and whisper, "Help me," the door of eternity already opens within your heart. Do not let any failure deceive you into thinking that your life is over. Only when you yourself lock your heart, refuse to let me touch you, refuse to let me forgive you, do you truly lose what you were created for. Everything else, honor, possessions, health, youth, even if lost, cannot snatch you from my hand as long as you still desire to hold on to me. You are a soul made for light, not for darkness, for love, not for nothingness. Begin to see every event of your life in that light. Joy is a reminder of the greater joy waiting for you. Sorrow is an opportunity to learn to lean on me. Loss is an invitation to loosen your grip on what is passing. Time is a grace given for you to prepare your heart for the day you meet me again, not a sentence driving you toward nothingness. My child, remember this deep within you. You do not belong to the things that are fading around you. You belong to me. I called you by name before you were formed in your mother's womb. I have watched every step you take, and even when you turned your back, I still stood there, quietly waiting for you to turn around. And one day, when the mist of this life has lifted, you will see that everything you were afraid of losing was, in truth, only shadows, and the only thing truly to be feared is losing your own soul. But even that fear will vanish when you place your hand in mine and walk on, step by step, in the certainty that you were made not for dust but for the heights of heaven, not for fleeting shadows but for the eternal light that has waited for you from the very beginning. My child, in your eyes I see the silent anxieties you have never spoken aloud, the longing to find something enduring in the midst of a passing world. You imagine that if you try harder, achieve more, win more recognition and praise, your heart will finally be at peace. But the further you go, the more tired you become, and the more you sense an invisible emptiness widening within your soul. You build fortresses for yourself out of fame, wealth, and applause. Yet when night falls and no clapping is heard, you feel utterly alone. You do not realize that everything you are clinging to is like sand slipping through your fingers. The tighter you grasp, the faster it falls away. I do not blame you, for in your heart I see a truly beautiful desire, the desire to live a meaningful life, to love and be understood, to know that your days do not pass in vain. But, my child, that meaning is not found in passing things. It lies in the bond between you and me, in the eternal light I have kindled in your soul from the beginning. I have placed in your heart a call that points toward your true homeland, the place where your soul belongs. Yet amid the noise of the world you have forgotten to listen. You chase after things that glitter like diamonds and forget the real treasure buried deep in the ground. You think happiness is found in holding more and more, not knowing that true happiness comes only when you learn to let go, to trust, to surrender. For everything you now see, houses, status, appearance, is only a shadowy reflection of a deeper reality. Like someone standing before a mirror who becomes absorbed in the image and forgets their own self, you will never touch the truth if you only stare at the reflection. Life on this earth is that mirror, beautiful yet fragile, bright yet easily shattered, reflective yet never itself, the eternal reality. You were not born simply to exist and then vanish like a speck of dust in the stream of life. You were born to return, to learn to love, to learn to trust, to learn to see me in all that is simple. When you offer a smile, a word of forgiveness, a small gesture flowing from a kind heart, you are touching the eternal life you have always searched for. I know you feel exhausted, that there are days when you think all your efforts lead nowhere, that loving sometimes leaves you wounded. Yet it is precisely in those tears and those losses that your soul is being purified, made more transparent, so that it can receive my light. Every suffering you bear, if offered in love, becomes a precious gem in the treasury of eternity. Do not be afraid when you see the things you once cherished slowly fading away. When a leaf falls from the branch, the tree does not die. It is preparing for a new spring. In the same way, what you lose is not an ending, but the beginning of something deeper. You feel as if you are losing, but in truth you are being taught how to let go so that you may receive what cannot be lost. All that is temporary is only an outer shell protecting the seed of eternity, quietly sprouting within you. And that seed can grow only in the darkness of humility, in the silence of faith, in the rich soil of selfless love. My child, I do not want you to reject this earthly life, for it is precisely here that the field lies in which you are to sow. But you must remember that this field is not your homeland. It is only the place where you work for a time before coming home. Live each day to the full, but do not let a single day pass without knowing what you are living for. Enjoy the beauty of creation, but do not forget the one who made it. Love people, but do not let that love be distorted by selfishness or possessiveness. Every good thing in this world is meant to lead you to recognize what is better. My love, the source of all beauty. When you lift your eyes to the sky and see the stars still shining in the darkness of night, remember that I am looking at you in the same way. My light never goes out, even when you are lost in the deepest night. You may not see me, but I am there, patiently waiting for you to notice. The eternal life I promise does not begin only after your body returns to dust. Even now, from this very day, if you know how to love truly and live authentically, you are already walking in that life. Eternity is not locked in some far-off future. It is present in this very moment when your soul touches the truth and the light of love. Let your heart become still, for only in stillness can you hear my voice. I do not come in the raging storm or the crash of thunder, but in the gentle breeze of dawn, in the song of birds in the garden, in the gaze of someone who truly understands. I am everywhere, but you see me only when your heart is open. And when you truly recognize me, you will no longer be afraid of anything, not loss, not loneliness, not death. For then you will know that everything with a beginning and an end is only a means leading you toward a life that never fades. You will see that the true value of a human life does not lie in what you possess, but in what you give. The more you give, the more spacious and rich your soul becomes. Like a river that does not keep its water for itself, but, in flowing, remains forever fresh and abundant, so it is with love. When you clutch it tightly, it dries up. When you give it away, it multiplies. I want you to live like a river, flowing through the barren places of the world to bring forth new life. Let each of your days be a song of love which, however soft, still echoes on into eternity. And when you are weary, when you feel weak, do not be ashamed to come back to me. I never grow tired of waiting. However far you may have wandered, a single breath of repentance, a single sincere tear, is enough for me to gather you into my embrace. You do not need to become perfect in order to be loved, for it is my love itself that makes you whole. Believe that no sin is too great, no wound beyond healing, as long as you allow me to enter. In this life you will still have to pass through many trials. There will be moments when the darkness seems to swallow every light, but remember that the lamp within your heart never goes out, because I am the oil that feeds it. When you love amid pain, when you still believe though you do not see, when you keep walking though your legs tremble, then you are sowing seeds for eternity. One day, when all that is passing has fallen away, and all the noise has grown silent, you will see flowers blooming from the very tears you shed today. You will understand that nothing is ever lost if you have lived in love, because love is the one thing that never dies. And then you will understand why I have always said, you do not belong to this world. Not so that you would withdraw from life, but so that you would know you are called to a homeland higher and wider, where time and fear can no longer bind you. You will no longer have to prove your worth, for you will know you are loved simply because you are yourself. You will no longer seek happiness outside of you, for you will carry within yourself the spring of joy that never runs dry. My child, live this day to the fullest with a grateful heart, for every breath is an invitation from me. Work with joy, love without conditions, and forgive even when it hurts. Every moment you live in that light, the world is changed not by great and mighty deeds, but by a gentleness that spreads like the fragrance of flowers in the wind. And then, when time is fulfilled, when the curtain of this earthly life falls, you will hear me call your name, and that voice will be as familiar as the deepest echo of your own heart from the very beginning. In that moment you will know everything you thought you had lost was never truly lost. Everything you longed for is now made complete in my arms, where there are no more tears, no more partings, only pure love and everlasting light. My child, a human life is as brief as a passing breath, like a drop of dew dissolving in the light of the morning sun. Yet many still race after unreal illusions, only to lose themselves in the whirlwind of this world's vanity. They are busy building castles on sand, pouring all their strength into things that will crumble, forgetting that what is enduring is not found in what the eyes can see and the ears can hear, but in the silent depths of the soul, where eternal light is always waiting. Do not let your heart become a barren desert just because it thirsts for things that quickly fade. Let your heart become fertile soil where seeds of love can take root, grow, blossom, and bear fruit. For it is precisely in your work, in your love, in your quiet sacrifices that you are storing up for yourself a treasure time cannot erode. Work, but do not work to be praised. Give, but do not give in order to be repaid. Live, but do not live only for yourself. For everything you do with a pure heart becomes a witness to faith, the truest reflection of your inner being. The world will keep whispering, to you that happiness comes from fame, from wealth, from applause. But my child, all these things are like shadows at sunset seemingly within reach, yet the more you grasp, the more they vanish. True happiness does not lie in how much you possess, but in how much you have loved, how much you have forgiven, how deeply you have dared to trust, even in adversity. Whoever clings only to preserving their own life, afraid of loss, afraid of wounds, afraid to give, will never know what it means to truly live. But the one who dares to entrust their life to love, to believe in goodness, to walk the narrow path of sacrifice, that one will find the very life that never fades away. Remember, my child, the riches of this world may overflow today, but tomorrow they will drift away like passing clouds. The praise you receive today will one day be nothing more than a passing breeze. But the love you sow, the compassion you extend, and the faith you keep, these are what endure. When you offer someone a bowl of rice, a smile, a word of understanding, you are building a treasure for yourself in heaven. When you kneel to forgive the one who has hurt you, you open the door to eternity. When you pause in the rush of life to listen to a weary soul, you are taking your first steps into heaven. For the kingdom of love is not in some faraway place. It is in every heartbeat that knows how to be moved, in every gaze that knows how to share, in every breath that carries kindness. Do not think that eternal life begins only when your body returns to dust. No, that life begins in every moment you turn your heart toward what is good, every moment you choose light over darkness. Each time you keep loving while being misunderstood, keep trusting when hope seems gone, keep persevering when every door appears closed, that is when you are already living in eternity. The world does not understand this, because it sees only with earthly eyes. But I see your heart. I see the quiet flame within you. I see every tear you shed in silence. And I say to you, no sacrifice is in vain. No act of love is forgotten. No prayer falls into emptiness. All of it is engraved upon my heart as an indelible seal. Do not be afraid, my child, when you must walk against the crowd. Do not be troubled when your path seems narrow and lonely, for it is precisely that path which leads to true life. People may mock you, may call you foolish for not seizing every advantage, for not pushing, not competing. But I tell you this, true wisdom does not lie in the cleverness of the mind, but in the gentleness of the heart. A humble heart that knows how to bend low, to understand, to show mercy, that is a treasure more precious than gold and silver. The world may offer you a false light of glitter and glamour, but only love gives you true light, the light that illuminates your soul, heals your wounds, and sets you free. When you know how to stop and look deep within, you will see that I have always been there, not far away, not silent, but waiting for you to open your heart. I do not demand perfection from you, because I know your weakness. I only long for you to be faithful in the little things, for it is in those small things that eternity is woven. A gentle word, a humble gesture, a look of understanding, these are the golden threads that weave the beauty of your soul. My child, remember that what is eternal is not built of stone or gold, but built of kindness, of faith, of hope. Store up that treasure for yourself, for it is the only wealth you can carry with you when you leave this world. Do not let your hands grow heavy with things that cannot last, fame, possessions, power, for they will fall away when the winds of time blow through. But the love you have given, the compassion you have guarded, the faith you have lived, these no one can ever steal from you. When the storms of life come, when trials surround you, look to me, not to your fears. Let your heart cling to what is eternal, as an ancient tree clings deep into the earth. Let the winds of life train you. Let the bitter rains wash over you, so that you may become stronger, more humble, and more compassionate. I do not promise you a smooth and easy road, but I promise that with every step you take, I walk beside you. Never think that you are alone. When you pray in the night, when you weep because no one understands you, When you feel so exhausted that you think you cannot go on, I am still there, in your breath, in your heartbeat, in every whisper of your soul. You need only grow quiet, and I will speak. And my child, remember, life is not a race to outdo anyone, but a journey to become truly yourself in the light of love. When you live with mercy, you are touching my very heart. When you forgive your enemies, you are living in heaven. When you give thanks for every breath, for each day you are still able to love and be loved, you are already tasting eternal life in the midst of this world. So, do not chase after illusions. Do not build your house upon sand. Do not let passing things dim the light within you. Choose life. Choose what is eternal. Choose love, for it is in love that you will find me, and when you have me, you already have everything. I know that you are walking on a path filled with trials, where light and shadow mingle, where the seductive calls of worldly vanity slip into every breath and easily shake the human heart. Yet in the midst of all that noise, there is still a gentle echo of eternity calling you that is my voice, not loud, not forceful, but seeping deep into your soul, reminding you that you do not belong to what is temporary. The world will always try to make you believe that your worth is measured by what you own, by the approval of others, by the successes you achieve. But, O child of the light, that is not so. You were created not to chase what passes away, but to live in what is eternal, in a love that never fades. Whenever you feel weary, remember that in that very weariness, I am closer to you than ever. When your hands grow tired from doing good, when your heart is wounded because you have loved someone sincerely and received nothing in return, when you quietly endure being misunderstood, I am watching you, supporting you in silence. Not a single tear you shed is wasted. Not a single effort you make for the sake of goodness is lost. Everything is being woven by me into a robe of glory that one day you will wear in unfading light. Do not let the illusions of this world steal the peace of your soul. There are things that sparkle like gold but are only ashes. There are words that sound sweet but poison the spirit. There is laughter that is loud but hides emptiness inside. The world teaches you to win by stepping on others, but I teach you to win through humility. The world advises you to live for yourself, but I invite you to live for love, for only love sets the soul free. When you face a choice, choose what is good, even if it costs you something. When you speak, speak the truth, even if it leaves you alone. When you love, love without calculation. For each time you love sincerely, you become more like me. And when you forgive, forgive completely, for only a merciful heart can truly be at peace. I know there are times when you feel small and fragile in the chaos of life, when it seems that all your efforts for good are overshadowed by darkness. But, my child, light never needs to be loud. Its mere existence is enough to drive back the night. In the same way, every small act of love you perform, every quiet prayer you offer, every time you choose patience instead of anger, all these are changing the world, whether you see it or not. I am using precisely those small things to bring forth great things, as dewdrops gather into rivers, as a single ray of light heralds the dawn. Do not be afraid to walk through loneliness, for in loneliness the soul can finally hear the call of eternity. The world may give you the feeling of being loved, being noticed, being praised, but that is only a thin mist that soon disappears. My love, however, though you forget me, I remember you. Though you run from me, I wait for you. Though you collapse, I lift you up. This love does not need to be returned in order to exist, for it is life itself. Let your heart open, let this light soak in, let old wounds be healed by gentleness, so that you no longer fear, no longer doubt your own worth. I want you to know that you do not have to fight alone. Each time you fall, do not despise yourself. Look up, for I am still there, waiting for you to lift your head. The world will tell you that you are a failure, that you are not good enough, that you are unworthy of love. But I tell you, you are the masterpiece of my love. You are not perfect, but you are perfectly loved. And when you truly realize this, you will learn to love others in the same way, without demanding, without possessing, simply loving for the sake of love itself. When you live like that, your soul will be free, and everything else will become small. Do not seek me in distant places. I am not only in majestic temples or solemn prayers. I am in the tears you shed out of compassion for another, in the smile you give to someone in pain, in the courage you show when you dare to live according to goodness. I am in the simplest of things. In every breath you take, in every moment you realize life is still worth living. When you see a flower opening in the rainy season, when you watch the sunset painting the sky red, when you hear a child's laughter, that is also the moment I am saying to you, I am still here. Do not be afraid if you are not understood by the world, for truth does not need the majority to be true. Let your life be a song of sincerity, a quiet candle shining in the night. Even if no one knows your name, even if no one praises you, that does not diminish your worth in my eyes. For true glory does not lie in human admiration, but in the fact that you keep choosing love, keep choosing goodness, keep choosing forgiveness even when you are hurt. I will remember it all, every smallest stirring of your heart, and I will turn them into a fragrance rising to heaven. The world will change, power will fade, money will be lost, beauty will wither, but a loving soul will never die. Live in such a way that, with every day you pass through, the world becomes a little more gentle, a little more compassionate. Do not wait for grand opportunities to do something great, for what is truly great lies hidden in each small action carried out with a great heart. Let your life become an unceasing prayer not only on your lips, but in the very way you live. My child, when the long night falls and your heart is confused, not knowing which way to go, close your eyes and call my name. I will not answer you with thunder or with miracles, but with a quiet peace that slowly spreads through your heart. In that moment, you will know that I am right there, in every breath you take, in every beat of your heart. You do not need to be stronger than others. You only need to be faithful, faithful in love, faithful in prayer, faithful in choosing what is good. It is this very faithfulness, though hidden and silent, that will open for you the gates of heaven which I have prepared for you. And when you look back on the journey you have walked, you will see that every pain, every loss, every wound has carried a sacred meaning. They were not the marks of failure, but the testimony of a love that has grown deeper and wider. Believe that every time you fall, it is a lesson that helps you stand more firmly. Every time you weep, it is a way for your soul to be washed clean. Every time you lose something, it is to make room for what is eternal to enter in. I am still waiting for you at the end of the road, where the light never goes out, where every tear is wiped away, where your soul finds rest forever in my embrace. Live, my child, not in order to be seen, but in order to become light. Love, not in order to be loved in return, but in order to become more like me. Trust, even when you have nothing left to cling to, for it is precisely when you have lost everything that you will see that I am your all. The world may lead you astray, but do not forget, eternity is still calling you home. And I, the one who loves you more than my own life, am still waiting, with arms wide open, to gather your soul in when you return home. Remember this, my beloved child. I am not far away, and heaven is not as distant from you as the world has made you believe. Heaven is not a far-off place beyond your reach, not hidden somewhere above the clouds or behind some strange golden gate, but is present here and now, in your very breath, in every beat of your heart, in the gentle light resting upon your eyes. You are living in the shadow of the eternal realm, where all that is visible is only a thin veil covering a deeper truth. Each breath you draw is a gift sent from the realm of light, a reminder that life is still flowing through you. Each dawn is a promise that the light has never gone out, that no matter how long the night may seem, I am still waiting for you in the morning. Every beat of your heart is my quiet call within you, a call leading you back to your source, back to the very essence of love and unshakable peace. All of creation is singing about me, whether you hear it or not. Every blossoming flower, every falling drop of water, every whisper of the wind is a hymn of praise to me, a song without words that echoes through the universe. They do not sing for themselves. They sing to point to me, like fingers pointing toward the sun without being the sun itself. When you gaze upon the beauty of the world, when you are moved by the purity of an early morning, or fall silent before a fading sunset, that is the moment your soul is being stirred by me. Even the deepest desires of your heart, the longing to be loved, to be understood, to live a life that matters, to see justice and peace, to return to a true home, all of these are my voice resonating within you. These longings are not weaknesses. They are proof that you belong to the eternal realm, that you have never been cut off from the source of light where I dwell. It is I who planted this longing in you so that you would know the way back, so that you would never be completely lost. Do not fear the day your body decays, for the body is only a borrowed garment, a temporary earthly house in which your soul dwells for a short stage of the journey. When the garment is worn out, you will take it off, not to lose yourself, but to be clothed in light. Do not fear the day your breath ceases, for that day is not your end, but the beginning of what is truly real. It is the day when shadows come to an end and radiant light begins, the day you step out of the mist of this passing world into the wide sky of everlasting life. It is the day you no longer have to struggle, no longer have to endure the wounds and conflicts of human life, the day you lift your head and finally behold the peace your soul has longed for all this time. If you have collapsed on the road of life, come to me. If you see yourself sinking in sin, do not run away, come back to me. If you are weary, let me be the place of your rest. If you tremble with fear, seek refuge in me, for in me there is no condemnation, only mercy. I am not the one who demands, I am the one who welcomes. I do not come to accuse you, but to heal you. I do not keep a ledger of your faults. I hold your heart in the palm of my hand. You do not need to be perfect to be loved by me, for my love is not based on conditions, not dependent on success or failure, on virtue or mistake. It is simply love, eternal, pure, unchanging. I am gentle and humble in heart. I am not proud, as you once feared, nor distant, as you once imagined. I bend down to lift you up. I bend down to wipe away your tears, to tell you that nothing can separate you from my mercy. I am your Father, not only your Father on the days when you are good and obedient, but also on the days when you are lost and astray. When you fall, I do not turn away. When you weep, I am not silent. When you fail, I do not abandon you. I only open my arms wider, patiently waiting for your return, like a father watching for his wandering child under the burning sun across the fields. You may have gone far, but my love has never taken even a single step away from you. I forgive not because you deserve it, but because my love does not know how to do anything else. Forgiveness is my very nature, as light is the nature of the sun. I restore you, not so you can go back to who you used to be, but so you can become what you were born to be, a radiant soul, free, overflowing with love. I renew you every day, with every breath, with every heartbeat. You are never a ruined being. You are someone, being reborn in my hands. I will never cast you out, no matter how many sins you carry with you. I will not put you to shame, for I know you have already borne enough judgments from the world. I will not turn my back on you, for I am your source, your home, the place where you truly belong. My arms are always open, waiting for you to step in. There is no sin greater than love, no distance greater than mercy. Each time you return, all of heaven rejoices, for you have remembered who you are, the child of light, the one who is loved with an unchanging love. My kingdom does not close its doors. It is not a proud fortress open only to the perfect. It is a field full of light, where the weak are comforted, the thirsty are given water, and the lost are found. You do not need to knock, for the door is already open. You do not need to beg, for all things already belong to you. From the beginning, you have been an heir to peace, to joy that does not fade, to love without conditions. I do not love you because you are good. I love you so that you may become good, so that you may understand that your true nature is light, not the darkness you fear. And then, when you truly understand, you will see that heaven has never been a far-off destination. It has always been within you. In every moment you know how to love, how to forgive, how to live fully with a compassionate heart. Every time you open your heart to love, you are touching heaven. Every time you forgive yourself, you take one more step into the light. Every time you see beauty in something small, you are hearing the song of eternity. My child, believe this, for there is nothing that truly separates you from me. Let your heart become a temple where heaven dwells. Live as though you are standing in my light, for in truth, you have always been there. Even when you forget, I remember. Even when you are lost, I seek you. Even when you close your heart, I still knock at the door. For I cannot stop loving you, just as the sun cannot stop shining. Come, do not be afraid, for in me every worn-out thing is made new, every broken thing is mended, and every soul is called by its true name, a name written in light, in love, in eternity. My beloved child, open your arms and receive life as you would welcome the early morning breeze, gentle yet full of vitality. Let your heart become as clear as a stream deep in the forest, where no clamor can disturb its purity. Let your eyes always turn toward the eternal light, where there is no more darkness, where every longing to love and to live finds its fullness. Live, my child, not merely to exist, but to shine. Live with all your hope, for hope is the golden thread that binds you to the infinite. Live by faith, for faith is the vessel that carries you across the storms. Live by love, for love is my very breath, the only language the soul truly understands. You will never regret loving, for everything you do in love remains forever, in eternity, like a ray of light that never fades. No act of love is ever wasted, no matter how small. It is still a heartbeat in the great heart of humanity. No prayer is ever in vain, for I hear even the words you have not yet managed to speak. No sacrifice is ever lost, for every drop of sweat, every silent pain you offer in stillness becomes a seed sown in the field of the life to come. My child, perhaps right now you do not see anything, but every good deed you do has already been engraved in the light. Every smile you offer, every hand you hold, every word of comfort you speak, all of these are stones you are laying on the path that leads to me. One day, you will stand before me, no longer afraid, no longer doubting, and you will see clearly that there was not a single moment in your life that was forgotten. You will understand that every choice you once thought was small carried an eternal weight. You will see the fruits of the seeds you sowed in faith. You will see the faces of the souls that were warmed by your kindness. You will see your own light reflected in the smiles you once helped to shine. And in that moment, you will know that everything you believed, everything you endured, everything you offered, was worth it. One day, when the veil between this passing life and the true life is lifted, you will be astonished at the beauty I have prepared for you. Every color you ever saw was only a shadow of the reality to come. Every sound you ever heard was only the prelude to the undying symphony of love. Every joy you ever tasted on this earth was only a drop in the ocean of boundless happiness. Then you will understand why I once urged you to believe, to love, to hope, because every moment you lived in faith was a brick in the house being built for you in eternity. And when you look back on your journey, you will smile, because you will know that no effort was wasted, no love was ever lost. I do not call you to live in fear, for fear is the wall that keeps you from freedom. I call you to live in hope, because hope is the pair of wings that lifts your soul above the darkness. Do not tremble before what you do not understand, for even when you are lost in confusion, I am still holding your hand. I do not call you to despair over what fades away, for this world is but a fragile mist, and what truly endures is your soul. Rejoice, for even in what is temporary, I am still at work. Rejoice, for even in your losses, I am preparing something better. Everything you think is an ending is in truth only the beginning of a new journey, a journey in which you will come to know me more deeply and to know yourself more truly. My child, I do not ask you to reject the world. On the contrary, I give the world to you as a gift, a school for your soul, a field where you may sow seeds of love, a river where you may learn to swim in grace. The world is not your enemy, but a mirror reflecting your faith. Live in it, not to be swallowed by it, but to make it shine. Live among humankind as a lamp in the night, not extinguished, not hidden, but shining with my own light within you. You do not need to run away from pain. You only need to turn pain into prayer. You do not need to abandon joy. You only need to offer that joy as a song of thanksgiving. Everything you do in love becomes a hymn of praise rising up to me, even the smallest act. Remember that this earth is not your permanent home, but the road that leads you back home. It is the classroom where you learn how to love, how to forgive, how to trust when you cannot yet see. It is the field where you sow seeds of trust, and the flowers from those seeds will bloom in the land that never fades. Do not be afraid of failure, for failure is only another lesson in the school of the soul. Do not be afraid of separation, for no separation is forever. Every step you take, however slow, is bringing you closer to the home I have prepared for you. Walk with wisdom, for wisdom is the lamp that guides you through uncertain paths. Walk with love, for love is the power that turns every road into holy ground. And walk with me, for only when you walk with me do you truly know where you are going. My beloved child, live each day as if it were the only gift left. Do not let fear or the past cloud the present, for this very moment is where I am present with you. Every breath you draw is proof that I am still giving you life. Receive each day with gratitude, for gratitude is the fragrance that adorns the soul. Live simply yet deeply, love without calculation, believe even when you cannot yet see the outcome. And when night falls and you feel tired, remember that I am still holding you in my arms, still looking at you with tender eyes, still whispering, "You have done well, you are on your way home." One day, you will understand that every smile you sowed became a ray of light for someone else. Every tear you shed watered the seeds of hope in another heart. Every time you chose forgiveness over resentment, you brought the world a little closer to heaven. And then you will see, the greatest thing was never the achievements you gained, but the love you gave away. That love is never lost. It reaches beyond time. It binds your soul to eternity. And when you stand before me, I will say, "You have lived as I desired, you have loved with all your heart, and you have glorified the light. Live, my child, as one who knows they are loved. Live as if every moment were an opportunity to respond to that love. Live with hands open to give, not clenched to grasp. Live with eyes that look beyond what is visible. Live with a heart large enough to forgive, gentle enough to empathize, steadfast enough to hope, for only when you know how to live like this are you truly alive, not only in time, but in my eternal realm. My beloved child, I have not loved you with a fleeting affection like a passing breeze, but with a love that never fades, a love that rises above all time and space, a love that has existed since the dawn of creation and will remain until the last star goes out. That love is not a promise on the lips, but the very soul of life itself, the light that enters into every breath you take, the sweet spring that refreshes the barren places of your heart. I have sought you, not because you are perfect, but because you belong to me. I have called your name amid the noise of the world so that you might recognize that gentle voice, the voice that has followed you since your first cry at birth, the voice that continues to echo softly whenever you are unsteady in the storms of life. I have drawn you close with invisible, yet unbreakable cords, cords of kindness, of countless acts of forgiveness, of the tears I have wiped from your cheeks. There were times you felt alone and thought I had left you, but precisely in the moments when you believed yourself most abandoned, I was standing right behind you, arms wide open, waiting for you to turn back. I speak to you through dreams, through seemingly random encounters, through birdsong at dawn, or through a raindrop that gently touches your face. I do not speak only in words, but also in silence, a silence full of love, so that you may listen to your own heart and find me in the deepest place of your soul. Even now, I am still speaking to you, not in thunder or blinding flashes of lightning, but in the gentle breath of the Spirit moving within you. Do you hear it? That subtle stirring, light as a passing breeze, is me. That quiet trembling in your heart for no clear reason is my invitation. Do not let your heart close itself to love. Do not let the hardness of the world extinguish the tender flame within. Open your heart, that I may lead you through the dark places, through your unhealed wounds, through the corners you have been afraid to face. Let me heal the fractures that time and hurt have etched into you, so that you may once again know what true freedom is, a freedom not of the body, but of the soul. Do not worry about what you do not yet understand, and do not be afraid of what you have not yet seen. I am preparing you for something greater, for a mission that only you can fulfill, for you were born with a unique purpose, to reflect my love in the midst of this world. When you stand before me, I will not ask how much wealth you amassed, how much honor you received, or how many voices praised you. I will look deep into the innermost chamber of your heart, the place that cannot be disguised, the place where only truth remains. I will not measure you by reputation or accomplishments, but by how you loved, how you gave, how you forgave. I will ask you, did you trust me when darkness covered the road before you? Did you love others when they did not return your love? Did you forgive when others wounded you to the core? Did you dare to seek the truth, even when the truth left you exposed and vulnerable? Did you walk in humility, even when the world urged you to be proud? Did you still choose love, even when love cost you pain? All of these questions are not to condemn you, but to help you look into yourself and recognize that everything I desire for you is only so that you may live authentically, live fully in love. What you keep in your heart, faith, kindness, forgiveness, is your eternal treasure, the seed that the Spirit will cause to blossom into the fruits of everlasting life. Material riches will vanish, fame will fade, but your heart and the mercy you have sown will be inscribed forever in eternity. You are my child, the work of my hands, shaped with my very breath. Every cell in you bears my light. Every beat of your heart echoes my love. You are more precious than all the gold and jewels of this world, because within you is my spirit, my breath, the life I have given you. Do not forget that you are eternal, for you come from eternity, and you will return to eternity. Live as one who belongs to that realm, with unshakable faith, with an ever-open heart, with hands ready to lift others up and eyes that know how to feel compassion. Walk as one who carries light within, so that every step you take upon this earth leaves behind a trace of love, so that all who look at you may perceive a ray of my light in your gaze, in your words, in your way of living. Choose what belongs to eternity, my child. Choose love instead of hatred, forgiveness instead of revenge, gentleness instead of conflict, light instead of darkness. For every choice in your life is weaving the garment of your soul, and that garment will accompany you beyond this life. Let it be woven with the threads of compassion, dyed with the colors of truth, illuminated by the light of faith. Let your life, whether short or long, become a song of goodness, of love, and of peace. You are my breath in this world, the light I send into the human realm to shine into dark places. Live as a candle that burns itself out to give light to others, for only when you give yourself away do you truly live. You belong to me, you come from me, and you will return to my embrace, where there is no more suffering, where only the gentle light of love remains. And then you will understand that every word I ever spoke, every sign I ever sent, every tear you ever shed, were all chapters in a melody that only love could compose. I love you with a love that does not change, that is not worn down by time, that is not confined by space. Wherever you go, however far you stray, I will still be there, waiting for you, calling you, loving you, for I do not know how to love halfway. I love you with all that I am, and I desire only that one day you too will know how to love like that. My beloved child, listen to these words as if they were engraved deep within your heart. Seek first my kingdom and my righteousness, and all other things will be given to you as well. For as long as you remain preoccupied with small things and forget what is great, you will be lost in the spiral of anxiety and fear. You think that if you do not hold everything in your hands, you will lose it all, but you do not yet know that only when you let go and allow me to be at the center do you truly possess everything. My kingdom is not found in gold, status, or fame. It is found in a heart at peace, in a soul that knows how to love, and in eyes made bright by faith. When you place me above all things, when you seek what is right and true, then everything else, all that you truly need, will naturally come to you, as a river flows to the sea. Do not worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow has not yet come, and I am the one who holds it. Worry only weighs your heart down, dims the light within you, and wraps your soul in a fog of fear. Live fully in today, in this very moment, for every breath is a gift, and every dawn is an opportunity for you to draw nearer to me. Do not be afraid of what others think, for human opinions are but passing winds. The one who praises you today may forget you tomorrow. The one who judges you now may not even remember you the day after. Do not let the gaze of the world make you forget my gaze, the gaze that never changes, that never turns away from you, not even when you lose your way. Do not cling tightly to what is fading, for it is your clinging that causes your suffering. The harder you try to hold on to something, the more it shatters you when it is gone. Learn to open your hands so that the flow of life may pass gently through them like a breeze, and so that I can place into your hands what is better. When you let go, it is not that you lose, it is that you are set free. When you are no longer bound by what is passing away, your soul will rise, free to fly to the place where it truly belongs. Lift up your eyes, my child. Do not only look down at the broken fragments of your life. Look beyond the horizon, to the place where the light has never gone out, where hope still burns, bright even when darkness seems to cover everything. Look beyond the night that overshadows you, for behind it the dawn is already waiting. Look beyond your pain, for even in the very tears you are shedding, I am weaving something good. No tear is ever wasted when it is poured out in faith, and no wound is ever meaningless when it opens a door for you to step into the light. I am making all things new. You think everything is falling apart, but right in the midst of that very breaking, I am recreating. You think you are losing, but in truth, I am clearing space for something better. You think you are alone, but it is precisely in those silent moments that I am closest to you. I am preparing a place for you, not only in this world, but in my own house, where there is no darkness, where joy never fades. I am arranging for you a joy beyond your understanding, a joy that is not a fleeting laugh, but a deep peace that nothing can take away. You are not alone, even when all around you is. Silence. You are not forgotten, even when the world may not remember your name. You are not meaningless, even on the days when you feel you have no purpose left. You are the child whom I love, called by name and held in the palm of my hand. I know every breath you take, every tear that falls, every smallest thought within you. When you think no one understands you, remember that I know you better than you know yourself. When you feel you have no worth, remember that your worth does not come from what you can do, but from the fact that you belong to me. This is truth, not a dream. This is a promise, not a temporary comfort. This is the life I give, not a vague idea. Everything you see will pass away, seasons of joy, seasons of sorrow, the years of your youth, all will one day slip into the past, but my word will never pass away. Everything in this world will fade, but my love for you will never fade, because it is not written with the ink of time but with eternity. This passing, life will come to an end, but the eternal life I have promised you will never cease. This is why I speak to you, why I draw near, why I awaken you from your sleep in the illusions of this world. I tell you the truth not to make you afraid, but to make you free. I call your name not to force you to follow, but so you may know you have not been lost. I come to you not to condemn you, but to rescue your soul from all that is wearing you down. Because I love you, not because you are perfect, but because you are you, because I have breathed the breath of life into you and have engraved your name upon my heart. I did not create you to wander aimlessly in the dust, but to rise toward the light. You were not made for small and trivial things, but for something greater than all of them, a life in me. You were not created for darkness, but for an unfading light. You were not brought into being for a short and passing life, but for eternal life, where everything you have ever searched for, ever longed for, will be fulfilled. Remember this, my beloved, the world may change, everything may walk away from you, but I will not. Every path you walk may twist and turn, but in the end, when you turn toward me, you will always find home. Everything you are enduring now, every tear, every worry, will be wiped away by my own hand. Do not let fear keep you from truly living. Do not let your wounds make you forget love. Do not let this world make you forget that you were created for a kingdom that will never fall. And when you are weary, lift up your eyes. When you are weak, call my name. When you feel lost, remember that you already have a place to return to. For I am your beginning and your end, the light that shines in your night, the breath within your chest, the love that does not change. You are never alone, for before you knew how to love, I had already loved you. Before you knew how to pray, I had already listened to you. And before you knew how to seek, I had already been waiting for you. My child, live as one who belongs to the light. Let your heart open, let that light lead the way. Let everything temporary fall from you like dust, and let eternal life rise within you. Do not fear losing, for I am the one who will never let you be lost. Do not fear tomorrow, for I am already there, waiting for you, loving you, and bringing you home. To the place where glory never fades, where love never changes, where everlasting life is waiting for you, my precious child. My beloved child, open your heart wide to receive each of these words, not only with your ears but with your whole soul that is thirsting for true life. Do not let these words pass by like a passing wind. Let them soak into every vein, every breath. becoming the light that guides your path and the flame that keeps you warm in the cold nights of life. For every word I speak is not just sound, but lifeblood, the very breath of eternal love. When you let this word dwell in your heart, it will heal the wounds you thought could never be healed. It will light up corners of your soul you have been afraid to face. It will lift you up when you collapse in despair. Let my word become a second heartbeat within you, so that when the world makes you tremble, you still hear my gentle voice inside, whispering, "Do not be afraid, for I am with you." Let my words soften a heart that is hardening from pain and melt the walls you have built around yourself to hold back loneliness. For only when you dare to be weak before me can you be truly strong. You do not need to pretend to be brave when your heart is bleeding. You do not need to hide your tears to appear all right. I do not seek perfect souls. I seek souls that dare to open themselves to be loved. When you lay down your defenses, I can hold you completely, like a child in a father's arms, with no need to prove anything, no need to be worthy, only needing to be yourself. And in that moment, you will know that nothing in the world can separate you from my love, my child. I have walked the tear-filled roads you are walking now. I know what it feels like to be lost. I know the pain of loneliness. I know the nights when you look up at the sky and ask, "Are you really there?" I know, because I have never left you. Even when you cannot feel me, I am walking beside you, lifting you up when you stumble, quietly wiping the tears from your cheeks. I am in every breath you take, in every ray of the morning sun, in every flower you pass without noticing. You are never truly alone, for my love surrounds you as the sky embraces the earth. When you feel lost amid the many noises of the world, seek the stillness. There you will hear me softly calling your name with the voice of peace. My love is not a fleeting promise, not limited by time or distance. It does not wear out with the years or fade even if you forget. It does not require perfection to endure, for it is itself perfection. You may fall, you may grow weak, you may run far away, but my love remains there, unchanged, like a lighthouse in the foggy sea, forever shining to guide you home. You do not need to fear that I will abandon you when you fail, for if my love could fade, I would not be the God of love. I do not love you because you are worthy. I love you because you belong to me. And once you belong to me, nothing can snatch you from my hand. Let my hope become the lifeblood within you, for there will be days when the darkness seems to prevail, when everything falls apart, when you can no longer see any future ahead. Yet it is precisely in those longest nights that the light of my hope still burns quietly within you, simply waiting for you to awaken it with a single prayer, with a cry that comes from the depths of your heart. That hope is not an illusion, but a sure promise I have placed in your heart, that one day your tears will be turned into pearls, that every loss will be repaid with something infinitely more beautiful. I have prepared that kingdom for you, not in some faraway place, but right within your soul, where my light dwells. There is no more separation, no more suffering, only the fullness of an undying love. My child, do not be afraid when you step onto the path of faith, even though it is narrow and full of thorns. For I am not standing at the end of the road waiting for you. I walk with you, step by step. When you are weak, I am your strength. When you fall, I am the hand that lifts you up. When you are confused, I am the light that shows you the way. You do not need to know everything. You only need to know that I will never abandon you. Trust, as a child holds his father's hand, not seeing the road ahead, yet certain that his father's hand is steady. Faith is not the absence of fear, but the choice to keep walking even while fear remains. And with every step you take in faith, you are drawing closer to the eternal life I have prepared for you. Engrave these words upon your heart. Do not remember them only when it is convenient. Do not seek me only in times of pain. Let them become the very breath of your life, a fresh spring that waters your soul each day. For the world will always try to make you forget me, with its noise, its temptations, its anxieties, with countless things that keep you busy, yet empty. But if you will only stay awake within, if you will only pause for a single moment, you will see that I am still calling you, still patiently knocking at the door of your heart. I do not pound loudly, for I respect your freedom, yet I have never stopped knocking. Open the door. Do not let your heart grow cold. Each day, I send you small signs, the morning light, a word of encouragement, an unexpected coincidence, a tear that is gently wiped away. All of these are my messages, my way of telling you that I am still here. But if you are not awake in your soul, you will think they are mere chance, and you will miss the grace I am giving you. So slow down, look more deeply. Learn to sense with your soul, rather than only with your eyes. When you live with a grateful heart, you will see that everything is a miracle. Every breath, every step, every person you meet is part of the symphony I am composing for your life. And my child, when you hear these words, do not listen only with your mind, but with your heart, where I am present. Let them awaken in you a new resolve, to live each day as an opportunity to love, to forgive, to trust. Do not let your faith remain mere theory. Let it become action, become warmth that spreads around you. When you love, you are expanding my kingdom on earth. When you forgive, you are shaking the heavens. When you pray, you are opening the door that joins heaven and earth. I have established that kingdom not only for angels, but for you, my child, whom I love with an unconditional love. In that kingdom, you will no longer be limited by time or by the body, no longer afraid of anything, for you will be immersed in the fullness of my love. But to enter there, you must begin from today. Walk with me from this very moment, in every thought, in every action, in every heartbeat. Do not wait until this world passes away to seek me, for I am here now, in your present moment. My child, thank you for listening to my words. Whenever you read these words, I am there looking at you, smiling upon you. Carry them with you on your journey, as a lamp in the night, as warmth in the cold wind, as the sound of hope in a fleeting world. Remember that I never move away from you. Even when you forget me, I still remember you, still call you home. And when you respond, even with the smallest whisper, all of heaven rejoices, for the lost child has returned. Come, my beloved child, walk with me from now and forever. Now, my beloved child, lift up your heart, open wide your soul, so that every prayer you offer may rise not only from your lips, but from your very spirit, surrendering to me everything you are, with the deepest sincerity that dwells within you. O Almighty God, Creator of heaven and earth, who sees through every breath I take, I offer to you my small and trembling soul, wandering amid the many confusions of this world. I know that true light is not found in splendor or riches, but in faithfulness and humility before your holy presence. Please illumine me with the light of truth, so that among the countless voices of this world, I may still recognize your voice, gentle as a breeze, warm as the breath of love. Teach me to stand firm when my faith is shaken, to choose what is good when darkness surrounds me, to remain faithful even when no one sees. Grant that I may love what is enduring and renounce what is fleeting, so that each day I live may be a step closer to eternity. O Father, source of my strength, when the storms of life blow through, my heart often feels ready to collapse. There are days when I no longer have the strength to go on, when I no longer believe I am good enough to be worthy of love. Yet, Father, do not let me forget that it is in weakness that your power is made perfect. Pour into me the courage not to fear what is good, to dare to live differently in the midst of a noisy world. Help me to stand firm in truth, even when it leaves me alone, to forgive when I am betrayed, to trust even when I can no longer see the way ahead. Father, do not let me fear the darkness, for I believe that at the end of every road, your light is waiting for me. O Lord, source of all that is good, I thank you for loving me even when I was unworthy. Your love asks nothing, demands nothing, like a spring that never ceases to flow. Though I have wandered far many times, you still wait, still patiently call my name with gentleness. I thank you for every breath, every sunrise, every person I encounter in life, for each one is proof that you still love me. Grant that I may live each day in gratitude, so that my whole life may become an epitaph, unending hymn of thanksgiving. O God, I thank you not only for the joys, but also for the sufferings I have gone through. Through trials, I have learned to trust. Through loss, I have understood the value of love. Through loneliness, I have found you. Thank you for turning my tears into seeds of hope. Though at times I do not understand your will, I now know that everything has meaning within your loving plan. Teach me always to give thanks, not only in peace, but also in storms, because I believe that all things are leading me closer to you. I offer this prayer in the holy name of Jesus Christ. Amen. Do not forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so that together we can build a strong and vibrant community of faith.